Hello and welcome to Education Vision. Today we are going to be talking about fill in the blanks reading and a little bit about the reading section itself. So in fill in the blanks reading, these blanks are also called drag and drop blanks. So we have a blank and we have some options given. We click on the option and we drag it and we drop it. Just a reminder that in the reading section, we do not for any question have to type anything or listen to anything in the reading section. Let's first have a quick look at the scoring guide of Pearson for fill in the blanks reading. So fill in the blanks reading, this is giving score only to the reading section, and in the reading section, one blank which is correct, we receive 1 score for it and 0 if that blank is incorrect. This is a very important question for your reading score. Now, before I get into the details of fill in the blanks reading, the strategies, the tips and tricks, how you're supposed to do it, I'll briefly just talk about the reading section. That the reading section has a total of 5 questions: multiple choice, single, multiple choice, multiple, reorder paragraphs, fill in the blanks listening, and fill in the blanks reading and writing. In the reading section, we have a combined time throughout the section of 29 to 30 minutes, which means that we have to manage the time ourselves. There would be no individual timer as there is in the writing or in the speaking section, that for every question after a certain time, the computer prompts you with a message that please click next to move on to the next. So we have to very sensibly allocate time to our questions in the reading section. Now over here, if you see below, we have given our analysis of the reading sections breakdown: multiple choice, single and multiple. If you don't even attempt these questions in the exam, you can still get a very high score for reading score, 90 out of 90. So we normally do not ask students to do or attempt these questions. So you're saving time over there. Reorder paragraphs roughly approximately gives you 5 marks out of 90, so we recommend 1.5 minutes there. Fill in the blanks reading and fill in the blanks reading and writing, they contain the most marks for your reading section, for your reading score. And if you look, fill in the blanks reading is 20 to 30 marks and reading and writing is 15 to 30 marks out of 90, which automatically means that my preparation, my focus, it has to be on fill in the blanks reading and writing the most as a priority. And we recommend 3 minutes for each question in this regard. So in the reading section, there are, for the reading score, there are 4 areas where you have to focus to get 80 above or 85 above for your reading score. The first is read aloud from the speaking section. Speaking section read aloud, it constitutes a very high score for your reading. Second and third are fill in the blanks reading, fill in the blanks reading and writing, and number 4 is highlight incorrect words from the listening section. If these 4 are prepared to the best of abilities, you have scored above 80. Easily, 80, 85, above that easily. So our recommendation is that you focus only on these 4 tasks if you are aiming for a very high score. That is something that we have to remember. Now if we talk about fill in the blanks reading, we get 4 or 5 passages in the exam. The scoring already mentioned and the timing has already been mentioned. These blanks are known as drag and drop blanks. And the size of the passage is not more than 150 to 200 words. There are 2 ways how we solve these blanks. But the first is with the knowledge of vocabulary and the second is grammar rules. Point number 7 is when we see a question paragraph, always skim through the passage and identify if the passage has a positive or negative context by looking at keywords and then read the passage. So first, before I explain more, let's have a look at the reading section. Fill in the blanks reading, how it looks like. So if we take an example over here for fill in the blanks reading, this is what the question it looks like. So there is a passage, it contains some blanks, and below we have the options. The number of options will always be more than the number of blanks which are given to you. This question confuses students a lot because this question is testing your vocabulary and grammar rules as well. I have basically observed over the years that when we used to teach grammar rules, which we will be going through right now, what are grammar rules, what is grammar, my analysis has been that if you focus on grammar rules, you in the exam always end up confused. Since we give exams, myself and my team, we give the real exam very frequently to check the scoring and the templates and the strategies that we are teaching you. I normally come across my students who are actually sitting for the exam, and I see that in fill in the blanks section they always get confused with the grammar rules, and then they are just guessing that I have to finish the reading section. And after the exam, what do I see is we are depending on luck, that I wish I get my score. Yes, we should depend on luck, but we should also depend on our preparation, because if our preparation is good, we will never ever miss our score. So coming back to the interface, in point 7 earlier I told you that we first skim the passage, identify keywords, and see if the passage is talking about something positive or something negative. So in this case, although Botswana rich in diamonds, high unemployment, stratified socio-economic classes. Now, high unemployment means something negative. Stratified socio-economic class means something negative. The second line, budget deficit, and then the word slum, again negative words. And then we have the word yet, which is contrasting. Wealthiest, most stable, these are positive words. So what I have deciphered from this is the first two sentences have something positive, and the last sentence has the first two is something negative, and the last two are positive. The first two negative, the last two positive. Now when I've identified this, I read the passage. Although Botswana is rich in diamonds, it has high unemployment and stratified socio-economic classes. In 1999, the nation dashed its first budget deficit. The nation suffered its first budget deficit in 16 years dash of a slump in the international diamond market. Because of a slump in the international diamond market, yet Botswana remains one of the wealthiest and most stable countries on the African continent. Now, if I feel that there is anything wrong, I can take it back, drag it, and then I can drop the correct option as well. That's why the name drag and drop. Now, the purpose of doing this question in front of you is not to show you that how good or how fast I am. It's to tell you what is the logic applied over here. And for that logic, let us have a look at one more question over here, a very simple question to understand the problem over here. I've extracted one sentence from one of the exam questions. Restaurant owners pay employees dash at the end of the week. Now we have three options: salary, earnings, and wages. Normally when we are talking to each other in our day-to-day conversation, we don't realize the difference of these words, and we are saying, okay, what is your salary? What are your earnings? What are your wages? Did you receive an increase in your earnings? Did you receive an increase in your salary? And in verbal communication, this is acceptable. But if I look at this from the exam point of view, there is only one answer which can be shortlisted. And this is the problem where 99% of the students, they make a random guess. Because we know that all three of these words are talking about the same thing, that I'm working and I'm getting money. But other than that, we don't know how to correctly identify. So here if you see salary, it is basically paid monthly or yearly. Earnings are weekly or fortnightly. and wages are paid daily. Now, how do I know this difference? Did this come from grammar? From grammar rules? No. This comes from your vocabulary. As earlier I told you, there are two ways how to master fill in the blanks reading: grammar rules or vocabulary. I have seen over the years the most practical thing to prepare your fill in the blanks is focusing on reading vocabulary. Now, when I say vocabulary, I don't mean that you have to memorize dictionary books, thesauruses, dictionary books. You don't need to do that. I will be showing you some resources which on Education Vision are absolutely free. You can download and practice from there to enhance your vocabulary. But before that, let's have a look at grammar rules. Why grammar rules are not the most effective way. So grammar rules, if you see, I have written also that this is not a recommended method. For grammar rules, the first thing I should know is sentence structure. The different types of sentence structures, like a simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence, complex compound sentence. So a simple sentence meaning subject, verb, object. Compound sentence, subject, verb, object plus subject, verb, object. Complex sentence, subject, verb, object plus verb, object. So the first thing is I have to identify the correct structure. Then in point number 2, I need to know all the parts of speech, exactly what they mean. What is a noun? What is a verb, adjective, adverb, conjunction, injunction, prepositions? All these I need to know them. And in number 3, I should know then, in point number 3, I should know the position of them, which is the most tricky part of grammar. Because we can say that, okay, nouns are used at the start of a sentence and it is followed by a verb and then another noun. And before the verb, an adjective comes. However, it's not so simple in the exam because we don't get simple sentences in the exam. The place where the blank is, it could be anything. And the biggest problem is adverbs, they have no fixed position. John is going to school and the adverb is slowly. If I take it at the start of the sentence, slowly John is going to school, that is correct grammatically. John slowly is going to school. Now I have brought it after the noun, again grammatically valid. John is going slowly to school. Now after the verb I have brought it, again grammatically valid. John is going to school slowly. At the end of the sentence, again an adverb, again grammatically correct. So this means that if I have even identified this is an adjective or this is a noun, the possibility is that it could be an adverb even over there, which is why grammar consumes a lot of time to become perfect at it and to master this and apply it then, so that in a limited time we can effectively do all the blanks. Now, as I was earlier saying, that I will be showing you a method to prepare your vocabulary. This is the easiest way how you can go about it, and in that way you know that it is a sure shot thing for your preparation. You will 110% be able to ace it. So what is that thing? That thing is, in Education Vision, our website, when you go in the student dashboard, I will just show this to you as well so that you do not get confused. So when I am signing in and when I log into Education Vision, I will be seeing the student dashboard on the left hand side. Over here, if you see on the student dashboard, the third tab is showing you vocabulary books. Vocabulary for the academic English collocation, PTE academic test builder, collocation questions, collocation answers. So these are resources which are free for you to download. You don't have to pay anything. But when you solve these and you make a list of words, of all those words which you find challenging, and go through them every day, then you practice your blanks on Education Vision, you will never go wrong, and in the exam you would also be very comfortable. This is the bulletproof method that you have to use and you have to apply. So start downloading these resources and start solving them before you actually practice anything. The wrong way is you directly start practicing and you realize you have a very limited vocabulary. You get frustrated and then you are looking all over YouTube and on the internet, okay, what are the shortcuts? Don't do that. Prepare your vocabulary and fill in the blanks. Reading would be aced perfectly. Hopefully this was useful. Thank you so much.